Commander here.
Hello and welcome to a 1v1 cast on Greentooth Gorge. Starting off, we have Tex playing as the Lord General here in the bottom side of the map. And finally, we have Crewfinity on the top side playing as the Ork Kommando Knob, spawning here at the top side, capturing a requisition point at the moment. This is a ranked game on the ESL ladder, which I have randomly chosen due to its length, and the players are also in the game because Tex and Crew are both very good players. It's always nice to see them in action. But Tex opting to go for a double guardsman here with a sentinel. Could even see a double sentinel. With a double sentinel against Orks, a bit more difficult to pull off, especially when the double shooter blob does get the bigger shooter upgrade that gives them increased range and increased damage. Makes it very difficult for double sentinels to actually do too much against the Orks units. Already a little bit of harassment here from the Sentinel. These sluggers going to find themselves a bit uncontested. The model is getting targeted down here. Second model may even go down. The sluggers look like they're going to use the garrison here to actually try and avoid fire from that Sentinel, but already the squad down to half health, and the Sentinel has already gotten a little bit of XP here. We'll go in for the decap and it will be very annoying. And you always want to put down your power node as quickly as you can against IG, given that they tend to rush Sentinel and tend to rush towards your power farm. Can be very annoying if Sentinel comes in very quickly and gets a decap against it, especially as Space Marines as well, considering your power node is quite late, getting double scouts and tactical marines. But again, some more power node harassment from the other side of the map. Crewfinity already making his way down. The Sentinel is coming in for some assistance, and Guardsmen are getting the Sergeant upgrade. But Tex is going to find himself a bit outmatched, does put down some green cover him for his Guardsmen to actually use. Doesn't need to be careful with where he places it, because Crewfinity can always use that green cover if Tex is forced off out of the area. The Crewfinity going to be opting for some looters here, going to be a very nice choice against the Guardsmen. The suppression will come in very handy. Meanwhile, the looters, the damage isn't actually going to be doing too much unless units get very close. Looters at maximum range don't have that great damage, but up close they have the highest by quite a bit. So if the Sentinel does get in a little bit too close there for a stump, it will get absolutely destroyed. Lord General forcing melee onto the shooter's green cover, or the yellow cover here, has also been run over as well, and Tex is able to force off the Guardsman without losing a single model onto the Lord General. You can see that Crew is not happy about not losing or not getting any of those Stormtrooper rescue models. Meanwhile, Castion's coming in for Tex as well, going to be very useful for knocking back the looters on top of as well. Getting a lot of damage, so Crew will need to split up the shooters a little bit so that they both don't get hit by the unreliable. Otherwise, it's just going to be easier for Tex to take down the army if he's able to hit multiple targets at the same time. And these Castions going to find themselves a little bit outmatched as a second set of looters is getting purchased right now. Castions only able to interrupt one squad at a time ready with their unreliable. Can always use a shotgun blast as well, but the shotgun blast has a very short range. Could see the demolition man come in as well. The smoke grenade does provide suppression immunity to those underneath the cloud, along with range damage resistance. A second Castion squad is going to be coming out here for Tex. I do like double Castion builds. I think they're quite fun to actually use, quite destructive as well, and does counter melee extremely hard with double shotgun blast, and with the amount of power melee that two squads are able to put out at the same time. 240 power melee DPS from two squads. And Lord General can always boost them out with some armor, can give them extra health regen, can give them knockback immunity, and can also give them suppression immunity as well. The Sentinel is going to be engaging here, and Crew opting for no upgrades on his double shooters yet. He has spent quite a lot of power on these double looters, totaling that 60 power. Hasn't actually got any other upgrades, and same for Tex actually, he hasn't got any upgrades either. He's only spent 60 power on these double Castions. And already on the right hand side, Castions are engaging. Meanwhile, in mid, Tex is fighting here, but his Sentinel is taking a lot of damage. Is sitting far back and getting repaired up. Castions trying to get further forward, and not able to get in range for that shotgun blast. The Lord General is going to walk around the flank here, but the looter is going to occupy this garrison, or in fact not going to occupy the garrison, going to just set up here and probably infiltrate and wait for a bit of an ambush later on. But Castions are detectors, will not be fooled by the Orks hiding in the shadows here. And are unreliable, going to come in, going to be knocking back those looters, actually catching up the shooters as well, quite interestingly. But the looters are able to reset up again fairly quickly. And looks like double shooters going to be upgraded with double knob leaders here. I'm quite surprised about that. I would have thought that one that would be upgraded to a knob leader and the second one would be upgraded with the bigger shooter. A Nob leader has been purchased, though detection is actually needed against Castians in case they do get that demolition man, and in case they start placing down IEDs. You do not want to get caught out by them, or as that can get squad wipes. 494 VPs to 355. Tech's really applying the pressure here on VPs. More Castians are coming out, but the elevation, it makes it very awkward to actually land that unreliable and actually getting caught out in terrain, only catching out the lead model there, that shooter boy Nob, and Tex is forced to reroute all his forces now to the left hand side to protect him. Meanwhile Crew, he gets the generator and he leaves. He's forced Tex to move around the map. Meanwhile he is just going to leave the area and forcing Tex to actually just play catch up here. Meanwhile, Lord General in a very awkward place right now. He's actually got a decap onto Crewfinity's natural requisition point. It looks like Crew going to be re-engaging here. The shooters are in the area. Castians do have a second unreliable off cooldown, but it looks like Crew just going to retreat away completely. There are some more looters going around the map and some sluggers that are just going to be on capping the duty. Both players should be hitting tier 2 fairly quickly with the light tier 1s that they have gone. In fact, Tex does actually have enough resources to take up to tier 2 right now. Crewfinity will be following up closely behind with 93 power in the bank. And Guardsmen going to get caught out here. Going to lose the model before retreats away. Nothing that they could have actually done there. They were right inside that arc. Even if they tried to move back, they would have taken quite a few losses, and it would have been worth it there for Tex. So just a better option really to retreat away. But 461 VPs to 353, and the VPs are still bleeding down here for Crewfinity. Going to be a bit of a difficult game for him if the VPs get a bit low, because he'll be always under pressure from not having any VPs. And finally, a rescue model there dies for Crewfinity. Costs 25 requisition to reinforce that Lord General model, but he can reinforce on the field, which is why it's so expensive. These double Castians wailing away here at the power node. Castians are going to be moving in. The unreliable going to go down, but the looters are going to be able to set up, and the second unreliable flying in there. But one squad is already forced away, and the second squad going to be moving around to the flank, going to be moving towards that power, and going to be sitting pretty while waiting for the other forces to regroup. Tech's really purchasing stuff in tier 2. You can actually see him buying stuff, but I can't see what he's actually buying until the tier 2 upgrade has finished. But it's actually going to get the Carapace armor. I can't actually remember what the Carapace armor does, so I have to wait for that and actually read the upgrade. Not as familiar with the Lord General. He's also getting the Commissar upgrades onto both the Guardsman squads here as well. That's 20 power upgrades along with another 85 requisition. Does give an extra lot of models. You are now on 12 models instead of 9. And the Commissar himself actually does quite a lot of damage. His ranged and melee damage is by far superior compared to the Guardsman's. Lord General with Carapace armor does give nearby infantry suppression immunity. Going to be very useful against these double looters and also against these double shooters. If they get that big shooter, that means that they will not be able to suppress with the Daka Wasat ability. The shooter boy is going to back away slightly. Looters are forced into retreat. There are some more looters going to set up towards mid, and the Commander Nob hasn't really seen much of the Commander Nob throughout this game here. The Crew is going to be keeping them on the side. Could see some upgrades come in. The shotgun upgrade in tier 2 is incredibly powerful here for Orks, and Castians able to get up here, but the thing is, looters do so much damage at point blank range, and 2 models already went down. That is definitely not worth it there for Tex. In fact, the looters aren't even going to lose a single model, and 2 Castian models are going to be quite painful. The unreliable falling a little bit short there as the units retreated out of it just in time. That trade does actually pay off for Crewfinity, although he is the one forced off of the field. But still, the looters up close do so much damage. As much as the units are not getting suppressed, they are still taking the full brunt of the damage, and looters with by far the highest point blank damage in the game. Heavy turret is going to be placed down here, and there's going to be a power bash coming in here for Tex. That Vanquisher turret will be able to reach the entire generator farm. In fact, the Vanquisher turret does have an insane amount of range, can easily shoot off screen as many times as it wishes. The Commander Nob is just going to be capping up that left hand side. Would be interesting to actually see Crewfinity go for some upgrades onto the Commander Nob, such as the shotgun, such as the Kaboom upgrade, and the better infiltration kit as well, so it doesn't actually cost them any energy to infiltrate. The Castians though going to try to hit those looters with the unreliable, but again elevation comes into play and they will miss their shot, and these guys are now getting suppressed by the looters here. Meanwhile, Crew is actually coming in for a flank, and these sluggers are now upgraded. However, that turret is vehicle armor. and will not take as much damage from power melee. It looks like Crew's actually going to ignore his own power farm, just go in for Tex's power, and is going to set up some looses to actually protect the flank of those shooters. Very interesting here for Crew to actually sack that. And again, Catchers are taking a lot of damage here, trying to get up close. Catchers down to just 2 out of 6 models on that particular squad. They are very unhealthy right now. Crew coming in for the power bash as well. We'll be able to get all the generators away from Tex, and these looters are actually upgraded to beamy looters. We'll be able to take down that heavy turret in 3 shots. The turret only has 600 HP, beamy looters doing 240 per shot, and it looks like the Vox operator for the Lord General going to be reinforcing the units on the field. Hide the Boys is activated here, but the thing is, these Catchins are detectors, and slingers are going to get forced off in the end, taking a lot of damage. Some repairs coming into that turret. Is it going to be enough though? But instead the Catchins will get the knockback against these beamy looters, and the Vanquisher turret will be able to live, and the Vanquisher actually able to hit it. Having a similar range to beamy looters is quite impressive. That Vanquisher turret, you can actually see how far away it is. I can barely fit it all onto the same screen at the same time. The Lord General going to be forcing melee here onto the shooters. The shooter boys are able to actually stand up against the Lord General. They do quite a bit of damage. Some stick bombs coming in here as well, raining some explosions, and the Sentinel game popped there. And it looks like the Vanquisher turret does fall to the beamy looters, and Tex is forced off the field completely here, but does have the VP advantage by an extra 100 points still. But the stick bombers coming in as a massive help there. The knockback and the damage from their stick bombs really helping Crew out in that engagement. And beamy looters now, I would imagine, are going to be left to be side cappers and power node destroyers. Kommando Nub though, still not really seeing too much of him in action. He did actually jump into the fight there. I would like to see him in the fight a little bit more, and would like to see some upgrades on him, although upgrades won't see too many of, given that Crew's lost his power farm, and same for Tex as well, who's also lost his power farm. Power incomes are so low now for both players. I could actually see them sticking to tier 2 for the remainder of this game. Stun bomb's going to go down here, going to catch out part of the Guardsman squad. They're very spread out right now, only catching out 3 models. But these Catchers are getting a little bit too close. These stick bombs are going to hit hard. Oh, the Catchers are retreating through it as well. Big losses there. 6 models that have gone down. And Slug's going to be engaging the Guardsmen, and double shooters are going to be able to force off the rest of the Texas army. Looks like the Vox operator was getting called in once again, although the icon just disappeared on the ground. The Stormtrooper is going to be upgraded with the Assault Kit upgrade. Oh, Crew would actually like to see a Death Dread come in for him if he can afford it. He can definitely afford it, in fact. The Death Dread could be quite brutal, given that Tex actually has no AV right now, other than the Catchin Melser guns, which aren't the most effective. At a fairly short range, a Death Dread will easily be able to tie up one squad, while Stick Bombers or Sluggers could tie up the other. A nice split with the Catchins here from Tex, actually able to dodge this Stick Bomber barrage. Tex has learnt his lesson from that previous one where it took down multiple models, and actually does a nice splitting them either side so that neither get hit. But Crew staying on the field maybe for a little bit too long. These shooters are looking a little bit unhealthy right now. One unreliable proves that they are definitely weak, and they are forced off the field. 257 VPs to 300 Crew, finally ahead in VPs now. This triple cap hitting Tex hard, and Stormtrooper is going to cap this left-hand VP, or I'd imagine they should cap this left-hand VP. Meanwhile, Lord General caps in the mid, and some forces are split over to the right so that Tex can secure himself a triple cap as well. Catchers coming in, actually able to take down the lead model there before he was able to fire there, otherwise that would have been a dead Catchin model. Lord General though still only with the Vox operator to assist him, actually does have the comms upgrade as well, so we could see the refractor shield come into play in the next engagement. And the Crew actually opting for a tier 3. But the thing is, he doesn't actually have any power, but we could see a Commander Call-in. The Commander Call-in only costs red and requisition, does not need any power whatsoever, and Commandos with the Love to Dakar ability could be quite brutal if Tex decides to group up a bit too much. These Catchins could all get knocked over by a Love to Dakar ability. Combine that with a Burner Bomb, or combine that with a Stick Bomb and Barrage, and it could prove fairly brutal here for Tex, and a triple cap even for Tex right now. Both players going from triple cap to triple cap here. 228 VPs to 259. Crew needs to start shifting here. Does have some beamy looters somewhere. In fact, I'm not even sure where his beamy looters are. He's using his regular looters as cappers right now. But the beamy looters were actually in mid. And Vanquisher turret getting placed down once again, going to be used to defend the center area and used for poking down units as well. The Vanquisher having an insane amount of range.
We're ready here, sir.
but these double catchings still level 1 both squads. Meanwhile, Crew's actually had a better chance of leveling up his units with double level 2 shooter boys. And looks like Slug is going to be engaging here. Swampum is getting used, giving the stick bomb, giving these sluggers some range damage reduction, and these stick bombs are brutal here, hitting the guardsmen hard. In fact, the guardsman squad is actually going to fall to the damage of these sluggers. Lord General is trying to force melee into the shooters, but the sluggers are in the vicinity here. In fact, a shooter boy squad is actually going to go down. Catchings coming in, double shotgun blast needs to go down here onto these sluggers, but stun bombs, these catchings getting caught out hard. And this slugger is going to go in. These stick bombs though, not going to use their stick bombs against the Catchins. Could have been quite brutal here. They were extremely grouped up there, and the BbBoS is going to prove themselves useful once more to take down the Vanquisher turret. The Stormtroopers on retreat here, going to be able to try and take down the slugs. Ooh, able to pop the lead model there. The Slugger Boy knob going to go down. That's going to cost Crew 25 power. But still, Tex losing the Guardsman squad. Not looking good for him right now, but Crew with big losses as well, losing the Shooter Boy squad, losing a Slugger Boy knob leader, and still not actually being able to afford anything in tier 3. Meanwhile, Tex is gaining another tier 2 unit out, gaining some more Stormtroopers, going to be another Assault Kit Stormtrooper squad, and the amount of burst damage that they provide will easily bleed away Orc models throughout the engagement, with the grenades coming in very handy as well, as you saw on retreat, and also proved themselves quite handy in the middle of combat. The stick bomb is going to get forced off here. Surprisingly, they didn't. Actually, they do lose a model there on retreat. Guardsmen going to be pushing further forward here, but taking a lot of damage here from the from just the regular looters. Down quite a few models here. They're not going to get in time. They do actually get a cap in time, but down to just 4 out of 12 models. Quite a few losses there for Tex in order to just get a decap, but now the Catchins are in place with Stormtroopers rolling in. He can prevent the cap going down onto that VP. Lord General going to be engaging in melee combat. He is level 3. He's done quite a bit of work so far throughout this game. Does have a lot of health, 1,700 HP, and with that Commissar does provide him with some extra melee and range damage. And even these sluggers are taking quite a bit here. The double Catchins burst from the shotguns is proving to be a bit too much for them to actually handle. Able to take down another stick bomber model, or not stick bomber model, a looter model. Stick bomb's getting a little bit too close here. Walk in and realize that the rest of their units are falling back, and double unreliable on retreat, taking down a stick bomber model. But the Commando knob is coming in, does have that shotgun upgrade ready to go. The amount of rending damage does bring infantry squads down to almost a quarter health, almost all the time with a shotgun blast, along with the knockback coming in quite useful. But the Commando knob getting detected here, throwing down a stun bomb onto the Catchins, actually going to miss, getting caught on a bit of terrain there, and not actually having the energy to use a shotgun blast. The Commando knob might find himself dead, and a Orks is getting placed down here. But I feel like he should have waited for a better combination before trying to pull off something like that. 160 VPs to 175. Things are very close in this game, but things are looking worse for Crewfinity with no nuke left, and with the power farm getting torn down once more, and it being a 2-to-1 cap against him as well. Double Stormtroopers, double Catchins going to prove themselves quite strong against Crewfinity's composition here. Not sure how Commandos are going to fare, but another Vanquisher turret game placed down as well. There are still BbBoSes on the field, but Tex seemed very keen on making this Vanquisher turret work throughout the game, and does prove quite annoying. The suppression resistance armor is getting placed down, but these Stormtroopers retreating a little bit prematurely, and Catchins just remain infiltrated here. They're going to be engaging now. Stick bombers in the area, and with their higher melee skill should be able to get specials against these Catchins, but deciding to just back away. But this Slugger's taking a lot of damage here. Looters are setting up into the face of the Catchins, and no unreliable to speak of at the moment. The Catchins are actually forced away here, and the BbBoSes are able to take down the Vanquisher turret once again. It doesn't even look like it got built. It looks like the BbBoSes are able to take it down before it finished building, but Tex does have enough red and resources to dump down another one should he wish. Looters on their way to mid, 160 VPs to 108. The triple cap here for Tex is really hurting Crewfinity right now. And Tex Crewfinity, going to be brought below 100 VPs now. Things are getting a little bit tight. And Tex remaining tier 2 as well. Crewfinity is tier 3, but no tier 3 units or upgrades or anything yet. Crew really needs to whip out a looter tank right now. In fact, I think that's what he's actually saving up for. He does have nearly enough resources to get one out. A looter tank would be fairly uncontested, with the exception of Catchin melter weapons against it come into play, but Catchin melter weapons not the most effective at trying to chase down a tank come tier 3. Ideally you want a heavy weapons team with a las cannon if you want to try and take out a tank. or at the very least scare it off. If it was a Commissar Lord with a bionic eye, Castians would definitely prove a threat against a looter tank, but the Lord General unable to support them in the same way the Lord Commissar is. I feel like the looter tank will have a free reign over the place, really. Very nice stun bombs there. They actually catch out both squads, and the sluggers are allowed to get into melee combat here, and the stick bombs are going to be jumping as well. Shotgun blast needs to go off from at least one of these squads here in this engagement. It looks like Tex is going to try and fight this. A very nice shotgun blast. Want to try and keep the Castians in ranged against these melee units here before forcing melee now on retreat. Could see an unreliable Castian shotgun blast is currently bugged out right now, though, where it actually does take double the amount of energy to cast it. So that's why you see that Tex doesn't actually have enough energy to cast unreliable on retreat there on those units. But Ogren's definitely not going to be a choice, and Tex actually cancels Ogren's purchase for a Chimera, but really he needs a heavy weapons team. He hasn't spotted the looter tank yet, but as soon as he does, I feel like he's going to start building a heavy weapons team to get out the last cannon to stop it in its tracks. Shoots boys going to get forced off here. Looter tank hasn't revealed itself just yet, has revealed itself now though. And Chimera is still building here for Tex, but I'd imagine a heavy weapons team could get queued up soon, or even a Vanquisher turret actually, but the Vanquisher turret is going to fall prey to both the looter tank and to the BB looters and will not last very long. In fact, the previous Vanquisher turrets have not lasted too long, so why would a new one now that there's another threat for it to actually face? Lord General though taking some damage here, 90 VPs to 88, the game is remaining incredibly close here, and the grenade launcher here for the move ability. Castians are going to run up to that looter tank, not actually doing too much damage here. Stun bombs going to go down, they're going to try and force melee here, and stick bombs are going to go down, they're going to catch out the Castians hard here, and they are going to get forced off. Looter tank is down to half health, but he does not have the improved armor plating. When it does get the improved armor plating, can be very difficult here for Tex to kill, and Tex does have the resources to get out a heavy weapons team, does have the pop cap, does have the power, does have the requisition. Should just start building one now and get a last cannon out as quickly as possible so that he can protect his area. Double stormtroopers though doing some nice burst damage onto these stick bombs. They are level 3 stick bombs as well, having quite a bit of health stored up. Guardsmen in the center of the map, looters are firing away. That's actually going to be a heavy turret here, along with a creeping basilisk barrage to knock away those looters. Actually does quite a lot of damage if you let your units take the full brunt of this, over these looters getting knocked into a wall. They're going to get caught out by the remainder of the barrage here. A very nice snipe here from Tex, able to take down a shooter boy squad with his double stormtroopers, only losing one model, or two models rather. Looters trying to set up once again here behind some yellow cover, but Castians are actually nowhere to be seen right now. They're in base. The Vanquisher turret is firing away. Beamy looters are now setting up in the air, and the Chimera will need to be careful as well. There is no creeping barrage to actually protect either unit. That Chimera taking a lot of damage from the Chimera. Stun bombs are effective against vehicles as well, and the Beamy looters getting rear armor hit, and that Chimera out of control right now, going to crash somewhere soon. And sluggers with the swamp ability, the guardsmen are going to fall as well. The heavy turret has no more repair support and will also fall down at the same time. 90 VPs though for Tex, 63 for crew. Castians out in the field but already so low, and I'm not sure why they're so low. They must have taken quite a lot of damage from somewhere. It must have been the looter tank, and in fact the squad may even go down 5 HP. The flame damage is not going to be enough to finish off the Castian squad, and sluggers are going to be able to pull back without losing the squad themselves. But double Castians, double stormtroopers is all that remains here for Tex's army, and still nothing to really deal with this looter tank. These double stormtroopers are going to try and infiltrate and sneak around to the VPs. In fact, firing away there, the sluggers want to try and kill any repair support. That looter tank has taken down 3 models with a single shot. The looter tank is absolutely brutal against infantry. If Tex has the Vox operator on his Lord General, we could see a reinforcement via Vox right now. And we do indeed. Castians now back up to full models, but stormtroopers remaining in base though very low. The boom shot doing quite a bit of damage to the Castians, even though it wasn't in the area, but the Kommando knob is coming in with a shotgun. We could see a Castian squad get forced off the field. The shotgun having a 30% chance to knock back these stick bombs though, hitting hard. Kommando should definitely go in for a shotgun blast. That one Castion squad is going to go down. They're going in a bit too hard, getting hit in the face by a stick bomber squad. And Tex unable to get himself out of base here. Crewfinity going to be able to come in for the comeback here. Was behind in VPs earlier on in the game, but is able to whistle down Tex and able to win all the engagements. And that tier 3 looter tank coming out, going to be uncontested against the Melter weapons of the Castion squad. The crew is going to be winning. So I'm going to say bye for now. Be sure to send any replays that you want casted to bbbos@gmail.com. There is a link in the description. And be sure to check me out because I will be streaming this weekend. Bye for now.